Right. So we were sitting in a space exploring the word, and Craig, you said it wasn't very quiet this morning.
Yeah.
Understand that. And then, so you're a word. Go ahead and recap us.
Yeah, it wasn't very quiet this morning, so the word that came up for me is recalibrate. Recalibration, or that's a, yeah.
And so what was there with me was to look at my just 10 minutes experience through the word calibration, and look at what could it mean through that lens. What was I experiencing as thoughts popped up, as wherever my mind went in the silence, and look at it from a recalibration. And through it, it was kept getting a change of focus, shift gears, right? And man, that is always hard to do when we're in something. For me, it's hard for me to do when I'm in a project, when I'm in something, when I'm in the middle of it, is to just where it's at, I'm not happy with it, right? It's not producing where it needs to be. There's more to do to it, like, or there's more I can do to it, right? And it
Yeah.
just says, all right, you need to just like focus on something else. And the self-talk, the inner dialogue is saying, I don't want to. And so what I was looking at, that was just admiring how deep our patterns go.
Yeah.
How deep our attachments go. And as I sit and just acknowledge it, it just becomes more and more of a push. And the more that I push, the more frustration shows up.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
What I'm getting in that silence from it is to discover another true choice. And that's what's there for recalibration.
Wow.
And neither one of those are, I just saw my pattern, neither one of those are joyful, or they challenge me,
Yeah.
in the doing and the doer and the pushing and the getting things done. They challenge because that requires sitting in this space of exploration, of not doing things, of not pushing things, of not making things happen in a way. There it is, uncertainty. Uncertainty is the timing, uncertainty is the end, uncertainty is the outcome.
Yeah. Recalibrating requires creating a whole new MO. That's a pattern. Feeling our way around a new pattern.
So then sitting in that, it was just to explore what comes up. In that space. And so what came up in that space was a 3x3 matrix that I've worked with. That's a fundamental, a foundation. So it's like out of anything that came up. So it's not like it's new, but no foundations are. What to do with it becomes new. What to focus on around it, what true choice with it becomes new. So it becomes, to me, like, where can this integrate? Where can this calibrate? What about this entangles or not, you know? At some point it does. It's just why is my focus here? Not for the answer, but just to explore it.
Yeah.
What that's telling me out of everything, it's like focus is to be on that. Now, on that can mean so many damn things. But that foundation, as it has nothing and everything to do with the project, that project that I'm pushing. You know?
Interesting. The word you used there. The project I'm pushing.
Mhm. Evening, Allie.
I'm on my computer, so can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How you doing, guys?
Pretty good
Good.
this morning already.
Oh, it's still early. You've just woken up.
Yeah.
How'd your day go?
A stressful day at work. It's been a stressful day at work.
Hmm.
I'm just glad to
Yeah.
come here and just breathe and just have that space, even if it is for just a short time.
Yeah, Jesse and I were observing for some reason or other it's difficult for both of us to be quiet this morning. So the idea of recalibration came up. And I haven't shared this yet, so I'll dive in with this. This last weekend, I've I've attracted some very interesting invitations. I was invited by an international entrepreneur to be part of I guess you'd call it an investment group. And the feedback around that's been very interesting because the instructions about how to participate never came to me until after the event. Actually, 2 different events that I was at. And it's like the instructions came later. And I didn't know how to act like during the sessions or afterwards. And what's coming up for me around that is to continue trusting and that those situations don't really have that much to do with my actions in them. So for me, this is an opportunity to explore a new MO. So for lack of a better word, I'm going to call it the background chatter was kind of around, well, I should have done this, or maybe I should have done that, or maybe I should have done this and that. And that's all very useless.
Mm-hmm.
Being in that space. So well, and here's the thing as well. Like my heart wants to approach these kind of invitations and situations as a I don't like this term for it, but I'm going to use it anyway, for lack of a better one, but as a business intuitive. And that's a very different approach for these people, especially people who have a success record. One of my strongest intuitive gifts is actually foresight. It's actually an ability to project into the future and actually develop the future from the present. So that's a matter of knowing where to go or knowing where we're going before we get there. And what's interesting is the main guy that's providing all these that's kind of initiated all of this is very intuitive that way himself, but he doesn't know it. he just, you know, he's had this kind of charmed life. I've met a few enterprising people like this in the last 6 months. And they don't know the gifts they have, but they definitely have them, and I recognize them because I'm one, right? So right now, these people are, both of these characters I'm talking about are operating squarely in the 3D. And if their genius could be moved into the higher dimensions, these people would be just off the charts. I mean, and what's hard is that their apparent success gets in the way. It's actually a huge detriment to their true genius. So you get things like from them, you get things like, you know, I admire people who take action, you know, these kinds of things. It's like, oh man. So maybe this is one of those situations where I'm in the middle of it, but it's all about, for me, it's all about the feedback. Maybe it's time for a question. I wonder how question. I wonder how we could draw out their higher genius. Oh man. I wonder how we could blaze a trail in this space.
I can't wait to hear what Allie's got.
I was thinking about my word for today, which is going to be understanding. It's my word for today. And I heard Abraham Hicks say something this morning. She said that we don't, how did she say it? Let me find the words. We don't get contrast, we attract it by the thoughts that we think. And it made me really think. And the girl that was up talking in the YouTube video, she was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
She did, like,
that was my first reaction when you said that.
She went, wait, what?
Because you said the word contrast, right?
Yeah. Because the girl was saying that, you know, she was explaining about contrast and that we get all this contrast. And she was like, no, we attract it by the thoughts that we think. When we think these contrasting thoughts, then it comes to us. And I'm like, because I've had a few things happen, like contrast, and I'm like just this week, for instance, and I'm thinking, really? I've manifested that? I've attracted that? And it's made me feel like that. And then when she said that this morning, I thought, it's by the thoughts that we're thinking. We've got to think in a certain way. You actually do have to think in a certain way.
So think a certain way in establishing a new pattern, a recalibrated pattern.
Yeah.
A reset pattern.
Yeah.
Explain contrast to me.
Yeah.
Well, she also said in that video that contrast's our friend. She says, because it brings the awareness to us of something that's going on inside of us. And when we feel it, that's when we know. So we should enjoy the contrast and welcome it, because then we can feel into the why we're feeling that way, so we can choose to focus on a better situation or a better outcome or end result.
that to me explains structure as aware of the present moment, the truth of now, comparing it, contrasting it, stretching it to where I want to be, where I'm going, what I want. Adding context, contrast, color, flavor. In all reality, it's structuring tension. So simple, we could use a stressed day as the truth of the moment of now. All of that built up to right here. We can continue to carry that forward as we think of backwards, as we're unaware that we're really thinking backwards of all the stresses that were there, which continues to just present it, just present, pre-sending it every moment of the next now. Everyone always asks, how do we get out of it? How do we let it go? How do we get away from it? That is not how.
So you got to focus on every single segment, if you want to call it, want of a better word. Like every couple of minutes, or every time you go into a different room or see a different person or get in a car or into a room, does that mean you have to be focusing on that happening and you doing that before you actually do it for everything that you do? Is that the thinking in a certain way? Is that what they mean by that? Because that sounds like really hard work to do.
So how would it be easy?
Just go with the flow, one day at a time.
So are we trying to eliminate the contrast?
Say that again, Craig.
Are we trying to eliminate the contrast?
Or maybe dull it down. That would be good.
I see the contrast as a gift.
What I would say is that the way I spoke it and the way that you went with it, I say is what we do already. And rather than acknowledge, like as Craig says, is to acknowledge, oh, this is why, like, I'm here now and I'm aware of this going on. Is it what I want?
Yeah.
I think that creates the tension between them, that for the contrast. That's how I work with it. Because there's patterns we operate in, and then there's recalibration ones, you know.
Yeah, for me, that whole idea of contrast, what came up for me is paradox.
What does that mean? I need to Google that one.
Paradox is when two ideas appear to be unrelated or
absurd or contradictory statements.
or contradictory, yeah, or in opposition.
In opposition, yeah.
But the synthesis of them, of the two sides, is extremely powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those are where our limitations, where our blocks are. It's in one of them and not, it's in one of them usually.
Yeah, see, our analytical brain can't handle that kind of space. Our analytical mind is threatened in that space. Because it can't understand it. But our intuitive mind knows that that's where the power is. That's where the genius is. That's where the value is. So I'd like to know the context, or yeah, I'd like to know the context that they were talking about. When they used that word contrast.
I'll send it you.
Well, so here's like how I was thinking about the paradox then in the contrast. I'll use a headline that I saw. I didn't read the article. I just saw the headline. It says that 70% of people are financially frustrated.
Mm. Thanks,
So
Ellie.
what do
I
they
just
do?
got your link. Thank you. Go ahead, Jesse. Sorry.
And so what, and it's like, so then what are they looking for? they want to get out of it.
Mhm.
They want to get away from it. What are they really focusing on? Or what are they not doing? It's like the point is that they keep playing the same pattern.
Well, the doing and the focusing tend to be the way that we think we achieve something.
Say that again, sorry.
The pattern ends up being the analysis around how we think we achieve something.
So Craig, I'm going to test, I'm going to try this. Is this, so in the do be, so that's the model, it's the, what do I do so that I have, then I'll be.
Yes. Yeah.
So I do have be mindset.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pattern. It's a pattern, not a mindset. It's a pattern.
Yeah, it's a pattern. Yeah. Yeah.
And so we keep looking for what more will I do? What different things will I do so that I'll have financial freedom so that I won't be stressed.
Yeah.
Or frustrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That structure is rampant in Western civilization. I call it a disease.
What do be have, right?
Do have be.
Do have be. It's not as it has be.
Be do have. Be do have.
No, that's not it
correct
either.
Structure.
That's not it either.
Okay.
It's have be do.
As we have it. So we be
You
it.
actually have it first.
And then we do it.
Yeah. Yeah. You have it. You have it. And then once you have it, which is and here's a new terminology I'm gonna throw in here. Instead of end result, it's not a result, it's an end effect.
Ooh. Yeah, because there isn't an end
Okay.
result.
No, there isn't an end result.
We
That's
can never ever
that's
get
a
it done.
3D terminology for it. We can never get it done
We
exactly.
can never get it done. Abraham Hicks says that all the time. Just
Right.
stop stressing about things because you'll never get it all done. Everything.
Right. But there's an effect
Yeah.
that's caused. So it's about causing an effect.
It's causing an effect in the unified field.
And that effect will be kind of in the esoteric, it'll be something that's undefinable, like influence or impact.
Mm-hmm.
Or in sync or aligned So really what we want, what our hearts want is to um, is to be in the cosmos. But we already have that. It. So it's about our aligning ourselves with cosmic intention. I want to make a dent in the universe. It's that kind of thing. And my way of putting it is that I want to participate in it. Because that's where my true nature truly shines. So we think we're having fun already. or we think it's fun to make billions of dollars. We scratching the surface.
Wasn't sure how much I made out of all of that. Sounded like the Wi-Fi was
deep shit. It's deep shit.
That's better.
Yeah.
Recap it for me now that you've got a good connection. Summarize it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're the boots on the ground here. We're the ones because we have these physical bodies. We can do stuff in the 3D that other spiritual beings cannot without a body. And what that means is that because my soul is here on earth in a body right now, I have the capacity to take what the cosmos already has and take what is already complete out there and bring it into form in the 3D. That's why having it comes first. Because the end effect is predestined, basically. It's all worked out and it's all complete in the higher realms, in the higher dimensions. It's already complete there. So we collapse it and we bring it into time and 3D space. And if we're in sync with that, the timing is right, and the well, everything's correct about it. The timing and where it shows up and how it shows up and all that stuff. Oh, there you go. Okay. We take what we already have and we bring it into being. Oh, there we go.
And so if we don't have enough, we bring that into our being.
Yeah, yeah. And at that point, it's still intangible.
Mm-hmm.
And the doing is the part that makes it tangible.
And then the cycle is then have again. So it all starts with your starting position.
Yep. Yep.
You think if the universe gives you something and you don't take the action in the physical world, it just keeps bringing it back round in a different way, if it's meant to be? Do you believe that?
I do. I think that's why the experiences get harder.
Yeah, I do.
When you relive the same one, you mean? Like the same
Yeah.
experience?
Until a breakdown.
Yeah. Or what about when you come to the awareness of some of it? What do you actually do with the information?
When you become aware of it is first step. I think it's ask the question is what I think.
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
Craig, your internet's spotty.
Yeah. Okay.
Connection is. So I think, Ali, how I work with that awareness is the starting position as well.
Yeah.
And so then it's like, okay, if I'm aware of it, then one thing that's better than what we typically do is to acknowledge it. But I don't call that, like, the outcome of that doesn't appear to be much better than living in it.
No.
Because the action is the pattern's still the same for the most part.
And you've still thought the thought.
Mm-hmm. And Mm. And that's where the recode, where we've learned the
Push
recode,
things
right?
into existence.
Now you're back in, Craig. We can hear you now, I think. Or not. So I'll go back to the 70% are financially frustrated. So
Yeah.
what do they have? What do they have? Let's start with that, because it's if it's a fundamental structure to be, what do they have?
Debt, probably.
What's that?
Debt, probably.
Yeah, not enough money. All of that. Yeah, they have all those things, and then that creates the being. So how are they being then? Frustrated. And frustrated has them doing all sorts of things, trying to get out of the frustrated. Yeah. And so they do something, and then what do they still have? It's a cycle. Is it my internet?
No.
Oh, okay. And they still have the debt or the financial problem, right? Or the not enough. Yeah, it's just a pattern. So how do you get out of that is the question, right, Ellie?
Yeah.
They're well aware that they have financial pressure. Are they allowing it? Are they accepting it? Our patterns aren't, because it's one of the things we don't talk about. So not even the best thing about it is to talk about it, which relieves the pressure. And then in manifestation, they do, or mantras, right? Affirmations is to say that what would be one of them is say that you are abundant, you have plenty of money. Well, which is a lie. Your unconscious knows that that isn't true. So the thoughts are is so in the future, so it's sometime in the future, which means right now I don't have it, which means I'm lacking my current having. I don't have enough now. But when I have my money, when I have enough money, then I'll be happy. And when I'm happy, will we be doing the same things as when we're financially frustrated? I think that's part of the awareness that I work in. And I think the way to allow it is to, one, allow the feeling, imagine the worst things that will happen, be fine with them, and then move on.
That's the game.
Right. It's the only way that I know how to get out of it.
And that's definitely serves a long way, that when you actually look at the worst case scenarios.
I think that's because that's what's that doing, is setting up we're limiting our have at that point when we focus in, is like, oh, well, I don't have enough, right? It's like we're focusing right in on that.
Yeah.
When there's so much abundance on the outside of that, it could be something else. It doesn't, and it, even if you like all that you don't have, it still doesn't change the next moment that you will certainly have more money, but that's what everyone wants.
Mm.
They're looking for something that's going to throw money right in their bank account right away. And it's like, that's not what we need.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing magical out there that's going to do that. Because it all takes time, but it all starts with the pattern, aware of the pattern that's creating the same situation over and over and over again. Which is why I always come back to, like you said, it's like it comes back to the awareness of it.
Mm.
And I say everyone is in the position that they're in because they are following what they love. Just the wrong way.
Yeah.
What was that again, Jesse? Just the wrong.
Just the wrong way, right? We're oriented the wrong way to it because, our structure's off. We're still going for what we're still chasing our true nature, our true purpose, but the orientation in which how we're chasing it is off.
Yeah, and we're analyzing the appearance of things and assuming that that's the truth.
And that's where I connect into the contrast as the perspective of it. Yeah.
It's not the truth.
Mm-hmm. Truth is such a shit word. I mean,
It really is
such a,
sometimes.
it's like
healing.
it's like, oh, everybody's out looking for this damn truth. And the truth is, whatever in the moment you feel in the space that you're in right now is the truth.
Yeah.
And that's what people are running away from. Avoiding, not wanting to step into, and waiting for something to fix itself, get better, by running away from it, by not looking at it, by not acknowledging the truth of the moment of now. They're out looking for something out there different.
Yeah.
And it sounds crazy, I know, because we only know the other way that doesn't work.
Yeah, we keep manifesting the same stuff.
The same misery will stay in that misery, that suffering, because the Dalai Lama says suffering will be the last thing we ever give up. Now, that's powerful in two ways. One, that means you're either going to suffer forever or let it go. Suck in your misery forever or let it go. And those are deep damn patterns. So what do you think, Hallie?
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't.
It's a great place to be.
Sometimes I think I'm on the right track and I know what the hell's going on, and we're doing the do and being the be, and and then other times I'm like, oh, the self-sabotaging comes in and you're right back at the bloody start again, wondering what the hell's going on and how you've ended up here. And then you're right on the back track again. It's like
Mhm.
never ending.
Mhm.
And I know it's just the life, and that's just the way life is. It's the contrast and the
Good.
enjoyment of the journey, and just finding that fuller expression, I think, is what I'm striving for most right now.
Expectations, making it personal, and information.
Yeah, all them things.
Yep. And when we can just say, so when I'm feeling something in the truth of the moment, it's not what I want. It's just information to tell me, oh, I'm off my path a bit. Or we can grab onto it and wallow in it, wrap up in a blanket with it, wrap our burrito up in it, right, and wallow in it. See,
Love that.
life allows you to choose whichever one you want.
It's so good to be reminded of that.
What I'm grappling with right now is that I'm living in more abundance than I ever have in my life before. But the proof of that isn't showing up in the 3D
I get that.
yet. And it's
That's how I feel.
I'm manifesting a lot of intangible stuff, a lot of stuff that's not visible. And just coming to being able to be in a place where I just trust that is totally new to me.
That's cool.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's cool or not, yeah, but I mean,
Well,
I appreciate it too.
It's terrifying.
Yes, that's the. I mean, those expectations, right? Even in the transition, right? There's still things that need to be taken care of, and that will always be the fight against it.
Because the truth is we're manifesting all the time. It's just a given.
Exactly. And even you said it yourself, is even when we create all of the abundance on the material things, it becomes a limitation.
Yeah, because we accept it as proof.
Mhm.
Right? So all of a sudden this six-figure business shows up in my reality, and I make a whole lot of assumptions about that.
Well, now you have it. So now you're being something and that has you doing.
Right, 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 exactly.
Then
And
having more or less and doing and or being and doing. And so it's that constant cycle of have, be, do, have, be, do. Or be, do, have. Depends on where you start. Do, have, be.
yeah, well, it changes the cycle. Or we misinterpret we misinterpret how that came to be. And we stop. We've reached our goal. We put a limit on the abundance that's coming.
So if we say everything's cause and effect, yeah.
Yeah.
And so we say everything's cause and effect, and I will say there's always a time and a space, right? That's fundamental. And let's say the only other thing that we have after those four things is be, do, have. Yeah. So be, do, have, frame that inside of cause and effect. What causes the effect in be, do, have, or have, be, do? What's the cause?
The emotion.
And which,
The
so that
thought.
wasn't a word I allowed you to use.
Oh, okay.
But perfect. So where does emotion tie into be, do, have?
Desire.
That's not a word I allowed you to use.
Okay.
So only those, we can only use cause and effect. We can only use be, do, have. And so an emotion, love it, love emotion. Where is emotion and desire fit into? Is it be? Does it fit into do? Does it fit into have?
It's got to fit into be.
I think so too, into our being.
Yeah. Because we need to be it, to feel it, to attract it.
Mhm.
So we have to be it.
I think so too. I'm with you. So cause and effect. So to cause it is the emotion, yeah, which is so then, and then interesting, we started right with the emotion is what matters. And so emotion was tied to be. So we're being emotions. And that makes sense if we look at it from life's perspective. Being alive is having emotions. Being human is to have emotions. So is emotion just enough to cause the effect? Or is there anything else that goes into it?
Mm.
And now, sorry, I limited. Now we have to use other words. So I shut it down. See how I shut it down and doesn't allow any other words to show up in that. So however I structured that was inappropriately.
Yeah, there's something off about something off in this conversation. Oh, maybe that's it. Hmm. Emotion, feeling,
About thoughts, thinking.
intention.
Which is a thought and a thinking. Yeah. So we're putting words to it.
Oh, no, intention isn't a thought. It's much deeper than a thought.
Yeah, intention's a totally different thing, isn't it? Intention's a vibration.
Yeah. It's a meaning.
Yeah.
But either way, it drives the action, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's the doing. You bet.
Before it drives the action. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it
Ends
comes
up
to the
driving-
surface.
It ends up driving the action.
That's right. It comes up somewhere, right? And it usually comes up into a thought through an emotion. Those two are entangled.
Yeah.
So again, time and space, right? Time and space. Feelings and thoughts, you know, cause the effect, cause the outcome. So that's why I say have comes last. On the 3D plane.
On the on the 3D plane, yes.
We have to bring it down to speak to it. Now, again, I can say that, yes, we could start in any one of them and play it out either way. Because the only one that we can control is our feelings and our thoughts, our feelings and our actions, our being and our doing. You can call it intention too. I mean, I'm good with that. And thing with the intention becomes, I got it, it's from the heart, but when it comes from the heart, we put our words and interpret it, which at the end of the day is just a perspective added to it. And so it becomes limited as soon as we bring it up.
Morning.
Bye, Allie.
Honestly, guys, thank you so much.
You got to go, Ellie.
I gotta go.
Hey, thank you for. I don't know.
No, thank you.
Thank you
Thanks,
for being
guys.
here this morning.
Yeah, pleasure. I
Yeah.
just wish they could turn the clock back another hour. Honestly, my day has not stopped since 5 o'clock this morning and I'm not done yet. I'm so not done.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
I'll let you
Bye,
go.
Allie.
Big love. Hmm. So what have we've been doing the last hour, Jesse?
I would say answering the question. I mean, that was the intention, wasn't it?
Yeah. Has it just been noise?
Well, could be.
Yeah.
And it always is. It's always noise.
Yeah, I
It's
remember how we
whatever you
started
make
this.
it's whatever the listener makes it to be.
Yeah. Morning.
Which is the same thing when you spoke about what you cared about yesterday. That was just noise too.
Yeah.
We can't get away from noise yet.
But we keep practicing.
Well, yeah, like I hear a facetious in that, and I would say, well, noise probably came from the other practice that started it.
Yeah.
Where we were going to.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
If you tell me how to get to where you think we could be more effective without noise, I don't think we can just jump there.
No, I don't think we can either. But it's interesting how both of us had this challenge around quietness this morning.
And how is it now?
Quieter.
Right. So it worked. I feel better. As if it should have gone some other way. I think we forget to make up the intention that we were aimed at. Which then doesn't honor what was created. Which then comes to an expectation. Oh, it should have been something different. Which is also a pattern.
Yeah. Whatever the case, it was effective. By which I mean there was an effect that was created. An effect
Always
that had value.
No, it was inside of, I mean, here's the one that shows up, the intention that shows up is, how would you help these, how would you draw out the genius in others? That was the cause and effect that was proposed.
Yeah.
So what do we know now about it? Through all the noise. First, we have to assume what we spoke about was what was needed in the moment for it.
Yeah.
Rather than, or we could expect that something should have been different or better or more appropriate. That to me wastes time looking backwards, not honoring what was created. That's a pattern for most people too.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a new clarity around who I am. A new perspective around my genius, what it might mean. And yeah, and around the MO of my true nature.
I think time and space is the cause and effect.
Well, cause and effect is true outside of time and space as well.
But what is outside of time and space?
Higher dimensions of
Wouldn't
reality.
they be included in time and space?
Nope.
Okay.
Time and space only goes up to fourth dimension.
Okay. And so when do we get to there?
When do we get to where?
The fourth dimension.
Fourth dimension is time.
Oh, well, you
First
said
three
time and
dimensions are
space.
space.
Okay. First three are space, gotcha, and then fourth is time. Okay, so the fourth dimension. So if time and space, we're looking at time and space, and we're at the fourth dimension, not the third dimension.
Right, exactly.
Okay, okay, so then what's above that?
Well, it's just easiest way to explain it is just beyond, it's beyond time and space.
Okay, good.
unified field is beyond time and space.
Uh-huh. Gotcha. Uh, how I would work with that then would be the information, the energy that's there, and not unlimited by time and space, because everything, like all that information is there, is because of the time and space, both forward, backwards, and in the present. I mean, at some point when I die, I'm going to move on to something else. But as long as I'm in this world here, right, like that's going to be there.
Yep.
Yeah. So I, like, as a human, to work with time and space and energy, which is space for me. My aim is to just make it as simple, as easy, simple, and silly as possible. Because anything
Yeah,
else is a distraction.
Thing is, we don't create in the 3D. We actually create in higher dimensions and we bring it into the 3D. We're bringing it into 4D actually.
Yeah, I mean, I can. So we create naturally anyway. So it doesn't matter what we're aware of. We do it just to be aware that we're doing it is the key. And then put whatever words, whatever noises we want to it. Just helps us be aware.
Yeah. Things actually take form in higher dimensions, but but the forms they take are unseen. They're intangible.
Mhm. And that's where it said the creation first takes place with the intention. With the invisible, with the thought, fueled by the emotion, by the feeling behind it, brings it into existence.
That's the most difficult part for human beings to understand, is that there's a whole unseen level
Hmm.
to all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can't see it, we assume that it's not real.
Mm-hmm. And when we can't see it, means we're unaware of it.
Yeah, but I mean physically see it.
Mm-hmm. Which is just a sense. Yeah.
So when things show up in our 4D reality, we
Now, what's a 4D reality then?
money in your bank account.
Okay.
But we can misinterpret how it got there.
And the truth is, the only one that we thought, the only reason that it got there is the truth of it for us.
Right. And for most of us, the prevailing belief about how it got there is because I worked hard and I earned it.
Mhm. Compared to in contrast of the other another way.
Right, exactly.
So if that's not true, then there would have to be another way that would be the opposite of that, that, oh, I didn't work hard and it showed up.
Doesn't necessarily have to be the opposite of it.
That doesn't
Just
have
have
to,
to
it
be
just has to be
different.
something else. That's right.
Yeah.
I find it opens up more space. We can look at the opposites of them.
That's why money is so deceptive.
Well, I think why it's so deceptive is because it's the main focus point.
Well, that doesn't help either.
I mean, what would you, if you could put something higher as the main focus point, what would it be? I would say love.
Well, yeah.
So not until that happens does the money part take care of itself. But genius and love isn't driven by money.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So in other words, love might be one of those, might be just an intention.
Mhm. Yeah, it's definitely intangible. So I think that's like when we go for our here's me, I'll speak for me. When I go for my genius, I expect that the money will be there.
Yeah.
Right? Because the genius should give me everything that I would want.
It's already there.
Well, maybe money's not already there. Maybe that's the lesson that needs to be learned. Right? Maybe the whole system changes, right? And money doesn't matter then. Maybe there's something more important that replaces money, and that's what we're learning. I don't know, right? It doesn't fix a bank account now by any means.
No, because it's not about fixing the bank account right now. But it's about having it in the higher dimensions so that it can show up in the force. So it can show up in time and space. This is stuff that I'm grappling with right now.
Mhm. No, I know, I'm with you. Money will always beat out the genius. Will always beat out love.
Yeah. The higher intentions. It's a distraction. It can be a distraction and an obstacle.
And it can be really useful in this plane. Yeah, not
Yeah.
useful for
Oh.
good, but I mean, here's what, are you familiar with BRICS? BRICS, right? The China, Brazil, who is it? Brazil, Russia, India, China. Who's S? Who's S? I don't know. They're basically seven. They're compete in competition. They've just taken over the G7 nations in total GDP.
Okay.
They're all the authoritative. They're all the authoritative countries. Yeah,
Yeah, the dictatorships and all that.
dictators. Yeah, and it's like, here we go again, right? One's rising when it means one's sinking.
Yeah. Wow. So I just got this too. War might be from here on out. War might be economic.
Financial.
Yep.
They've released their currency, a new currency backed by gold, which turns out will not likely be good for us.
True. It can't be good for us.
As soon as the Saudis dump the US dollar in oil, we think we got inflation now.
Yeah. Yeah, the finance has only been lightly manipulated up to this point compared to what's coming.
It's pretty hard to stay on top if you don't hold the financial domination. And that's the pendulum always swings. The ones that on the top will always lose it.
That's why this work we're doing is so important right now, historically.
Yeah, I think so too. I feel it. I don't think so. I feel it that way.
Yeah, but yeah, well, that, yeah, exactly.
I feel it. I can't make out the thought, the words around it yet.
Yeah. Yeah, even while talking about this, I'm just sensing kind of a gray atmosphere
Mhm.
as we talk about it.
Hmm.
It's a premonition, actually.
One we're not ready for.
Yeah.
As Debbie Downers, huh?
No, not really. As we were talking earlier in this conversation about, we talked about money, but we also talked about abundance, tangible and intangible.
Your sound went a long ways away.
Interesting.
Still
Any
far
better?
away. No, not much better. There we go.
Okay.
Nope, still far away. It must be covered up by something. Maybe not.
Better now.
It's better. I can hear you. I'll turn up mine. Yeah. I mean, to me, it is the importance of our work, yes. But I still I don't know how it's going to do any better.
Yeah, all of humanity has this real dependence on on finance, money, and it's very unhealthy.
Yeah.
Which is part of what Adam Smith talked about in Wealth of Nations back in the 1700s. Economics prime assumption is that resources are scarce
Mhm.
in the first place. Which is a very 4D statement.
That continuous growth has to be there.
Oh, wow. This is the key principle of investing too. Is that in order for a business to grow, business needs capital. Why would business need capital to grow? It's a condition that's imposed by the authority.
Yeah, that's the focus on, it's focusing on the money. Money is what's, even though it's scarce, to have it, it means it's not scarce. It's the whole structure of it.
Well, yeah, and the reason it's scarce is because people are hoarding it.
Mhm.
In fact, the prime directive of an investor is to keep the money moving. It's sitting in the bank as cash. It's not developing. It's not stagnant.
If you're not growing, you're dying.
Exactly. Saving money stunts growth. Stunts its growth.
So it's to convince all those with money to get rid of it, huh?
No,
To trade it in.
not to get rid of it, but the thing is, but investors are like that. Investors that have a lot of money, people who have a lot of money to push around they want to get it in motion because they understand that that's really the value of it.
Mhm.
It's it's the same as a farmer principle. Okay, you can have a bin full of wheat, but if you don't plant it, it'll still be just a bin full of wheat.
Mhm.
But when you plant it, it can multiply. Same thing's true with money.
So question is, what is the future investments?
what I'm seeing right now is that we've given our power to the money. Assume that the money is the power, and the money isn't. The money is the creator. If I was in a money making mode right now, I would be focusing on making the money and not focusing on creating it. Which tells me to keep digging and keep digging deeper.
And harder.
Yeah, there's more value to be had in the exploration. As in alternatives to money. What else can we focus on that gives the power back to the people?
Well, I think there are common intentions, huh? Solving that riddle.
Yeah. What does love want?
Peace was the obvious one when you asked the question. Not peace is how we think of peace, but just peace, inner peace to start with. The quietness, the inner quiet, the inner peace. What'd you get?
Yeah, it's interesting. Peace on earth too. Peace on earth. That just brought back a line from the Christmas story. Peace on earth toward men of good will.
Recalibration, isn't it?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Will is really intentional.
Mhm. Well, Craig, I've got to leave you with that. Go step inside here and help out with the family.
Wow. That kind of went ballistic for a bit there. That was really cool. Thank you, Jesse.
Mhm. Thank you, Craig. Have a great rest of the day.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, bye.
Bye now.